You know, in the world of real estate, there are rules. There's a playbook that pretty much everyone follows. Well, a new partnership between some of the biggest names in the business just came along and basically tore that playbook to shreds. And now, the entire industry is drawing lines in the sand, picking sides.
So what's the deal? Why is this one partnership causing such a massive fight? That's exactly what we're going to break down right here, right now.
All right, let's dive in. First things first, we need to set the stage, because to really get why this is so controversial, you have to understand just how big of a shakeup we're talking about.
Yeah, this is way more than just a little disagreement. We're talking about real estate professionals literally splitting into two camps. On one side, you've got people saying this is a bold, necessary step into the future. And on the other, people are warning this is a really dangerous move for the whole market. It's a fundamental clash over how the business should even work.
Okay, so what is this deal that's causing all the drama? Let's break down the nuts and bolts.
So you've got three huge players at the table. First up is Compass. They're the giant brokerage bringing the actual listings to the party. They've teamed up in a 3-year deal with rocket companies. And where are you going to see all this? On Redfin, the big online portal. So yeah, 3 household names, one very controversial plan.
The whole thing really hinges on this one concept, something Compass calls private exclusive listings. Now, here's what makes them so different. They're being marketed completely outside of the system that basically runs all of real estate, the multiple listing service, the MLS.
And because they exist outside that system, these listings are, well, they're missing some things you're probably used to seeing. When you look at one on Redfin, you're not going to see how long it's been for sale. You won't see any price history, if the price has dropped, and you won't get any of those home value estimates like a Zestimate or something similar. Really key pieces of information are just gone, and that's on purpose.
Okay, and this is where it all gets so interesting. By leaving that info out, this isn't just about creating some new kind of listing. No, this is a direct challenge to the entire way things have been done for decades. And make no mistake, this is not an accident. It is the whole point. Just listen to what the CEO of Compass-Rocket-Redfin said. He called this alliance the end of the restrictions that MLS has had on agents and sellers. So he's basically positioning this as a rebellion, right? A move to break free from the old guard and their rules.
And this really lays out the two different worlds we're talking about. On one hand, you have the traditional listing, just packed with data. And on the other hand, you have this new model where all that key information is stripped away. It's a huge, huge shift in what a homebuyer actually gets to see.
So you can probably guess what happened next, right? A change this massive has kicked off an absolute firestorm of debate. So let's get into it and hear what the pros are saying. All right, so on the pro deal side, you have people like Angela Morsa from Compass. Their take is that this is just a necessary evolution. The argument is, look, the whole system, the infrastructure is old and clunky. And this deal, it's a brave step towards finally building something modern and better. But then you flip the coin, and the criticism is harsh. The co-president of Windermere Real Estate flat out said consumers are being used as guinea pigs. The big worry here is that with holding all this information, well, it might be great for the big companies, but it's not so great for the regular person who's just trying to find a place to live.
And then there's this other perspective that kind of cuts through the noise. A commentator named America Foy put it perfectly. They said, this is about more than just which company wins. This is fundamentally about transparency. It's about how open our market should be, what information should be available to everyone, and who gets to make that call.
Okay, so you have these really passionate arguments on all sides, but what does it all mean? What are the actual real-world stakes here?
Okay, here's the bottom line. Number 1, this is a direct shot at the MLS's power as the main source of data. Second, power could start shifting away from that central system and toward a few giant brokerages. Third, it's forcing this massive industry-wide debate about transparency, like what info do you, the buyer, have a right to see? And finally, this could create a whole new pocket of the real estate market, a sort of walled garden where the rules are just different.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Is this the future of real estate, a bold evolution that's been a long time coming? Or is it a reckless gamble, one that trades transparency for a competitive advantage? As of right now, the industry is completely divided. And I guess only time will tell who's right.